Hope you're going to find it useful. So, morning, everybody. My name is Phil Calvert, and welcome to this introduction to AI for financial advisors. This is about the 10th one we've done now. And we're doing about every couple of months, and they get kind of updated a bit as the technology moves on quite rapidly. Just very briefly as to who I am and why I'm doing the talking. I'm the guy behind Life Talk. I know that some of you on this call today, you're members of our Life Talk Facebook group. That's been going, I looked yesterday, we've been going 16 years on Facebook now, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm basically a marketing and technology consultant to financial advisors. I've been working with advisors for about 45 years in various different capacity. I presented to over 1 million advisors worldwide on marketing and technology. Some of you also be registered for our weekly newsletter that goes out 2 p.m. every Friday, Life Talk Insider. A lot of people said to me, whilst they love the Facebook group, there's so much activity going on in there. So what we do on a Friday is we send out sort of bite-sized chunks, the best bits of what's been going on in the group over the previous week. So just Google Life Talk Insider, and you can register for that and get the best of the group every single week. I've written a few books. 19 in fact, half of which are aimed at financial advisors. The most recent one is the one on the right. It is literally it's a kind of roadmap for financial advisors as to how to start thinking about adopting AI in your business. And it really is designed to be read after this webinar, because this webinar kind of sets the scene as to how AI has arrived and how it's being used by financial advisors, and how you can start adopting it in your business as well. As time goes by, there will be a multitude of different ways that advisors can use AI. But what we're going to concentrate on today is kind of the easy stuff, using AI for productivity to get that marketing activity done. I talk a lot about marketing to financial advisors. I was at a conference I think it was the Solidus conference in London yesterday, a couple of hundred financial advisors there. And, everybody in the room agrees we need to be, as a profession, be marketing and promoting ourselves better to the outside world. But with the best will in the world, most financial advisors, whether it's your own firm or where you work for another firm, you've got other priorities as well. And one of the beauties of AI is that we can start getting some of this exciting marketing and lead generation work done soon. Coming soon, whilst Life Talk has basically been an online platform for many, many years, and we occasionally have live events, very soon we're going to be announcing regional mastermind meetings. There's definitely an appetite for small groups of financial advisors to get together in a region and meet on a regular basis, to literally be accountable to one another, to get stuff done, to learn best practice from one another. So we're going to be launching our mastermind groups in the coming days, which look out for that. Very exciting times. Okay, so what we're going to cover today, first of all, what is AI? This sort of term AI, artificial intelligence, is bandied around. We hear it on the news quite a lot, but it's worth just sort of looking under the hood a bit and just finding out a bit more what it is, how it's being used, and how financial advisors can use it now, and indeed already are using it now. There are some financial advisors who are really quick off the mark, and it is literally transforming their productivity and giving them amazing ideas to do things and ways to support their clients in ways they hadn't really considered before. And we'll explore some of those as we go. I've always been interested in the technology side of the industry. Many, many years ago, when I was a teenager, I was a rock concert photographer. It's what I wanted to do before I got a proper job in financial services. But when AI came along, one of the first things to be available was the ability to create your own art and your own images with AI software. And around about sort of October, November last year, I started playing around with one particular AI tool and started creating my own imagery. You literally tell it what you want to do, and it spits out something the other side. You don't have to like it, but what's really interesting is that this is now really, really commonplace. You can go on to Microsoft Bing and just ask it to create an image for you, and it will spit something out. The real skill, though, is in how you prompt the AI and how you tell it what you want to do. So if you just say, in this particular example, create a picture of a dog wearing a waistcoat with a hat, you'll come up with 1,000,001 different alternatives, but it's how you fine tune it that it makes the difference. Here's one. I said, can you create a picture of a financial advisor in a very old school style, Dickensian kind of style, and it kicked this out the other day. And I've set up my own Instagram channel where I've got my own AI imagery that I've created. But what was amazing, and I never really thought this would happen, was that a few weeks ago, I get an email from someone who was following my Instagram AI channel, and he said to me, Phil, I love that picture of the guy with the white hair top right. Could I buy it? And this had never even occurred to me that I could create art, and I'm no artist. The idea that I could actually create art that I could potentially sell. So someone made me an offer for a large canvas screen print of this. And that then got me thinking, well, one of the amazing things about AI is that it will enable financial advisors to create new products and services that they'd not really thought about before. I've actually written another book on something like 30 different ways financial advisors can create new income streams. And this one just sort of came at me out of the blue. So what I'd like you to do today is kind of keep an open mind, and you will begin to think of other ways that you can use the expertise, the skills, the credibility and experience that you have to create new products and services for clients. I've thought for many a year that financial advice, financial planning tends to be something that's done between consenting adults, either in your office or their home or wherever, and it's kind of a one-to-one thing. But to be a financial advisor takes a lot of qualifications to get there, and a lot of financial advisors, they've been in business for quite a long time, and over that time they've built up a considerable amount of expertise, and you can take that expertise and you can turn it into other products and services that people will want to buy. Please do. I see somebody's asked a question. Oh, it's actually Dan saying good morning to Kimberly, which is all very nice. If you've got any questions, please do ask them. We'll try and get them to them, or maybe we'll do a quick Q&A at the end. So open minds as to what AI can actually do for you. So for many a year now, financial advisors have been seeing AI as something that is coming down the track that will be with us at some point in the future. Right now, we don't need to be concerned about it. People are concerned naturally as to whether it will take over jobs and so on and so forth. But what I have to say to you is that AI is no longer something that's going to happen in the future. It is here now. And the really cool thing about it, it is good enough now that we can use it in a variety of different ways to support our proposition, to add massive value to clients, to be much more creative in our marketing. We are only limited by our own imaginations in terms of how we can use AI. The first academic conference on AI was actually back in the 50s. Even Alan Turing was considering the degree to which machines could actually think. And if you do a bit of Googling, if you Google the 1956 Dartmouth conference, there are a lot of very learned individuals who were really starting to think about the future and how artificial intelligence could complement what we do. And clearly there are all sorts of ethical implications as to where it would go after it starts to complement what we already do. So it's worth starting with a kind of definition of what AI actually is, and there are various ones. Pays you money, you choose what you want. So for example, you can take all sorts of different definitions of AI and put them into an AI and ask it to come up with its own definition, and what you tend to see is a pattern. Artificial intelligence is the simulation of human intelligence, processes by machines, especially computer systems, that perform tasks that would normally require human intelligence. But here's the really cool thing. The more data you give it, the more intelligent it becomes. When you start using tools like ChatGPT, you may already be using a tool like that, what you will very quickly discover is the more information you give it before asking it to do a task, the better the results of the task. In fact, if you use ChatGPT, and if we get an opportunity, we'll actually do it live or give you a couple of demonstrations. It can absorb huge amounts of information before you actually ask it to actually do something. This is called prompt engineering. If you go onto YouTube, you will very quickly go down many, many rabbit holes where you discover that prompt engineering is a skill that you need to know, that you didn't know you needed to know. And it is all about the art of creating instructions or prompts for your AI, whatever it is you're using, to get the best possible results that come out. We'll explore a bit more about that. So let's see what Sulab at Deloitte has to say. At its most basic, AI is software that mimics and generates human behaviors, planning, generating ideas, understanding speech. Its ability to scale human intellect will have a profound impact. Ginny, former CEO IBM, some people call this artificial intelligence, but the reality of this is technology will enhance us. So instead of artificial intelligence, I think we'll augment our intelligence. And if you're using any AI at the moment, you'll know that this is already the case. Clearly, this is having a profound impact on the way we use search engines. And of course, Google have been very quick off the mark to come up with various products and services. Their current one is Google Bard. If you've not used Google Bard, give it a go. And see what you think. What's quite interesting is that Google's been working on AI for quite some time now, and you may have heard or read about a classic case early last year where one of Google's data scientists said in public that he felt that their AI was almost sentient. That was a step too far for Google. That guy got fired. Because when you start getting to a point where you're suggesting that AI can think for itself, then we start getting into all sorts of extraordinary territory. So what we've seen so far is people saying that this is a technology that simulates and augments what we already do. It's worth having a look at the potential other side of it from people who know what they're talking about. The development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race. It would take off on its own and redesign itself at an ever-increasing rate. Humans who are limited by slow biological evolution couldn't compete and would be superseded. I think when you're doing any presentation where you start throwing in lines that it could spell the end of the human race, that's probably a tad too much for us today, but it is good to be aware of where this could go. But what's really interesting to see is that the main AI companies, particularly Google, Bing, OpenAI, are taking the ethical side of this extremely seriously. Generative AI, which we'll talk about in a second, is already extremely good. But what you will have already heard about is that some AI results are just plain wrong. They're inaccurate. Sometimes AI makes stuff up. That's called hallucinating. So where I want to go with this is to say that when you're using AI in your business right now, to initially look at it a bit like it bakes a cake, and then you put the icing and finesse on the cake. You could potentially write books using just AI, but really, if you want to write a book, you can use AI to help you do research, to maybe give you clarify your thinking, but then you actually do the main body of work itself. So in any use of AI, treat it as a tool that creates the basic, whatever it is you're creating, and then you do the real finesse and professional work on top of it. However, whatever you want to look at, you look at AI, There is no doubt that it will make us significantly more efficient. Since I've been using AI, my productivity has literally gone through the roof. And we've got like an AI best practice group for financial advisors. And what's really interesting is that the IFAs and advisors in that group are all saying that they've been able to get extraordinary levels of work done in literally no time at all. And I think, you know, this is good for business. It makes good business sense anyway to be able to be more efficient with our time and with our resources. So let's chuck in an analogy here as to what AI is really doing. We have two people here, both going from A to B. The person on the left on the bike is leveraging technology and will inevitably get to point B a lot faster than the other person as well. That's a really simple way of doing it. By leveraging AI, it will help us to do stuff much faster, much more efficiently, and will save us so much time. AI is a bit like this. It's about putting a sports car up against human beings as well. It is that powerful. Now, you might be forgiven for thinking that, you know, AI is a relatively new thing, and it doesn't really have much impact on your life or your business right now. The simple fact of the matter is AI is already controlling us, and I use that word advisedly. If you are on Facebook as a financial advisor, for example, the algorithm will make sure that you see, if you're a member of our group, that you will see content from the Life Talk Facebook group. It will make sure that if you're into cycling or if you're into rugby or whatever, it will make sure that you see more content like that. If you're on Instagram's algorithm is quite extraordinary. It shows you a lot more of what you are already interested in. Now, one way you can look at it is, well, that's great. That saves me a lot of time faffing around. But we all know that there's a dark side to this. Is that if you have a predisposition to shall we say, terrorism, for sake of want of a better word, the algorithm there will make sure that you see more of what you want to see. LinkedIn as well is extraordinarily powerful. If you take the trouble to learn how to use LinkedIn, you can, the algorithm is extraordinary. If you position yourself on LinkedIn and have a profile that identifies very, very clearly who your ideal dream client is, the algorithm will actually send those people to your profile. That's a very, very simplistic way of looking at it, but that's broadly how it is. So an understanding of how these algorithms actually work is quite powerful. Now, why is there a picture of the Eiffel Tower on the right? Apparently, the average TikTok user scrolls on their mobile device the height of the Eiffel Tower 3 times every day. It is that addictive. Rather, the algorithm makes sure that you see more of whatever it is that you are particularly interested. So AI is already with us. It is already controlling us to a greater or lesser extent. What do we do next? So let's now just have a look at different types of AI and how they are relevant to what we're doing. First of all, there's narrow AI, and it's something that we are all already familiar with. Narrow AI does one thing and it does it really well. So, for example, a calculator is a form of narrow AI. Google search, narrow AI. Face recognition. These are all things that are really simple. Music suggestions. Let's use that one. Like, you know, those of you who are on Spotify, I never cease to be amazed how regularly Spotify shows me obscure heavy metal bands that I didn't know I really wanted to see. It is quite extraordinary how it does that. Spotify has also got an AI DJ. There's a setting there where you can just press a button and you get your own personal DJ that plays you your own particular preference, and it uses your name as well. Occasionally it goes a bit weird, but it is quite amazing. Shopping preferences, I mean, that's the most obvious one. If you've ever bought anything on Amazon, you know how Amazon works, and the algorithm is extremely good at showing you more of what it thinks you like and what you want. What we're going to look at today is generative language. But before we do that, I just want to show you the next type of AI. Then we've got general AI, which is basically a tool that can access multiple levels of narrow AI. So one in construction can lead to all sorts of it. So tools that you may already be familiar with are Siri, Alexa, those sort of things as well. So a deeper level of activity as well there. And then the next one, which really interesting, even just a year ago, people were saying super intelligence is quite a few years away, but we're already seeing examples of super intelligence. And if I was just give you one example of that, let's say what you could do is, let's say I want to do a golfing holiday of Spain, round Spain. You could go to your AI of choice and say, give it lots of information, say, next year between these particular dates, I want to go on a golfing holiday with some mates, come up with an itinerary, and it will do that. It will book the hotels, it will book the flights. It will even suggest mates of yours that you already know who might be interested. It'll literally do everything. And to some extent, we can already do some of this stuff. So super intelligence, whilst not all that long ago, seemed a bit way in the distance. Elements of it are already here now. Let's give you some examples. What is absolutely fascinating about the AI is the speed of the development of this. You may have heard of a computer program called Deep Blue, and the developers at Deep Blue set themselves a challenge to see if they could create a chess bot, for want of a better word, that could actually play against a grand chess master and win. They did eventually achieve that. It took them 18 years to achieve it, but they got there in the end. And it was all over the news. It was quite extraordinary that this could be done. But a more recent example of that was, if any of you ever play chess online, the main chess bot is called Stockfish. And if you do any of these online chess games, you are playing against Stockfish. So the developers at an AI called AlphaZero set themselves a challenge as to how quickly they could learn to play chess and actually beat Stockfish. Stockfish is essentially the best chess player on the planet. And it literally took him 4 hours to learn how to play chess from zero and then actually beat the best chess bot on the planet. So the speed of the development of this stuff is quite extraordinary. In all sorts of other aspects of our lives, we are already seeing and will continue to see AI being used in a variety of very exciting ways. You can see some of them here: revolutionizing stroke care, predicting early onset Alzheimer's. This is really exciting, very big news. Early detection of lung and breast cancer, improving accuracy of diagnosis. And what's really interesting is when you talk to the medical profession, what you quite often hear them say is they don't actually know or understand how AI programs are actually doing this. And they are getting it right almost all of the time, and the medical profession can't figure out how it's actually done. How it's actually done is some very complicated maths around the back end. That's basically as in-depth as I'm going, but there's a lot of very clever maths going on in the background. But tools for people with disabilities, this is really a game changer. And literally only last week, ChatGPT, those of you who've got ChatGPT, if you've got the ChatGPT app on your mobile phone, you can now take a photograph of what's in front of you and ask it what you can see, and it will describe exactly what is in your photo. Now, for blind people, this is extraordinary. And the next step is a sort of real world version where they walk around with a camera that is live, and the AI will describe exactly what is in front of them. For deaf people, there's a new app. In fact, there's 2 apps now, which will convert, which will create sign language in front of whatever it is they are looking at or what they're watching. So maybe they're watching a TV program, but there isn't any signing. It can actually create sign language right under the noses. So tools for people with disabilities are going to be really, really exciting. In our industry in financial services, there is no question that AI is going to be a very, very big deal. We're going to see a lot in underwriting, whether that's for mortgages, whether that's for protection business, but the main activity will be for fraud detection in a variety of different ways, analyzing text, picking up fraudulent language patterns, clearly automated trading. There are already a multitude of AI tools which if you're into day trading, there's a variety of different AI tools now that will predict moves in the market, and if you've got some money to put into that, just let it play with it and see the results. So all sorts of extraordinary things ahead of us in financial services. More widely, AI is literally every single day something new and exciting comes out. If you want to stay on top of what's going on in the world of AI, certainly in the world of AI for financial advisors, as I mentioned, we've got our AI best practice group, but a wonderful newsletter that you might want to search for is called The Rundown. Just search Google for The Rundown AI newsletter, and you get a daily newsletter with what's going on in the world of AI, but it's all written in beautiful plain English, and it literally lists out loads and loads of AI tools, and literally just pick and choose what you want to look at and how you want to use them. So all sorts of exciting things ahead of us in terms of AI. So what I want to just focus on for a bit now is generative AI. That's what the G stands for in ChatGPT. Generative Pre-trained Transformer. And we'll cover that into a second. Some of the tools, the main tools that are out there at the moment, ChatGPT 3.5 and 4. 4 is the top level one. You can access these tools for free, but if you want it to do it a bit faster, it's worth paying a few dollars a month just for that. DALL-E 2 is also from OpenAI, and that's the tool I use for AI art. Google Bard is there as well. Bing, as you probably know, is Microsoft's search engine. Bing was always seen as a bit sort of second rate and a bit second class to Google. Well, Bing now is absolutely fantastic. So go to Bing, click top right hand corner, and you can literally have a chat with the search engine. You can use it to create content as well. It will create images as well, which is absolutely fantastic. And another tool that I use is called Claude AI as well. Sometimes I will create stuff in ChatGPT, and then I'll go and ask Claude to do exactly the same thing. And it's quite interesting to see the different results that you get from the two different platforms. So you'll have heard GPT. It stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. And basically, it means that ChatGPT has been trained to generate new content, such as text, images, audio, and more, based on data it has been trained on. So if you go to ChatGPT right now and ask it a question, it only has knowledge up until, I think it's January 2022. It was up to 2021. It's now been up to 2022. So it has been trained on essentially all knowledge. There are some AI tools that actually access the internet when you ask it to do a task as well. But they're all coming on leaps and bounds. So for financial advisors, in due course, there will be all sorts of different ways that you'll be able to use it in your business. Right now, the main ways of using it in your business will certainly be for productivity. I don't know the degree to which you guys and girls watching this today already using AI. You might be using it outside of your business, just for a bit of fun. But I would urge you to just start playing around with it and ask it to do a few tasks that you were going to do anyway, and just see how it tackles those tasks as well. So productivity, amazing. In due course, you'll find that some of the routine tasks that maybe somebody in your business does, it will be able to do those routine tasks very, very quickly. I bang on about marketing to financial advisors, and with the best will in the world, as I said right at the start, I know that financial advisors are busy, time poor, and with the best will in the world, getting some of this marketing activity that we talk about just doesn't get done for a variety of different reasons. But with AI now, you can get this stuff done and much, much more. One of the great opportunities of this stuff is the ability now to create personalized marketing and communications. So, for example, if you were a financial advisor, and it may well be that you're an expert on retirement planning, you might otherwise have created, you might have written a blog, you might do a podcast, however you might get across your expertise in that, how you might want to create educational content for people to read so they get a sense of who you are. It may well be that you've actually got a bit of a niche. Maybe you've noticed that although you do retirement planning, maybe you've got a few clients who are, for sake of argument, dentists. Now, you could use ChatGPT to create other versions of articles that you've already written, but personalized towards dentists. You could then post those on a blog, or you could post them on LinkedIn, or you could post them or offer them to magazines that dentists like to read. So when a dentist happens to read this, they can see very, very clearly that this is written by somebody who really understands the financial pathway that dentists follow. You can even create articles for individual clients of yours, which is really interesting. So you could go to ChatGPT and say, right, I'd like you to create an article on cash flow modeling and how you can use it to plan your lifestyle and retirement. And I want you to write it for client A, client D, and client G. And I want you to use their names in the article. Now, initially, a lot of financial advisors say, well, we don't want these tools accessing our client data. But what you can do is, as when you come to prompt the AI, you can say, right, client A is a heart surgeon who is about 5 years off retirement. They've got some big plans in their retirement, but they're not quite sure if they've got enough money. Write an article with this in mind. And you go into a lot more detail, and it will then write that article. It will use their name, and it will come out the other side literally written for that particular. So personalized marketing communication, really, really powerful. Data analysis. There's all sorts of different ways you'll be able to use this. We haven't got time to go into that one today, but also for client onboarding as well. One or two of you might have heard me talking about IFAs using scorecards or online assessments as part of their client onboarding tools, and you can use AI to create quizzes, all sorts of different ways as well. So there are all sorts of different ways. Right now, the main ones are marketing, productivity, and for lead generation. Typically, let's talk about marketing. We'll have a go at a couple of these in just a minute. You could create tweets if you're into using Twitter or X, writing blogs and articles. It's really easy for someone like me to say financial advisors should be writing more of this content and putting it online. There are all sorts of good reasons why you should do that, but again, finding the time. You can have this stuff written in seconds, literally. Lead magnets, maybe when a client comes on board, you can create personalized welcome emails. You could rewrite your LinkedIn profile. You can create surveys. You can rewrite your website copy, your About Us profiles, press and PR. One of the best ways of getting free marketing for financial advisors is to send out regular press releases to people. When I first went out on my own, a friend of mine, Jackie Harper, she was a journalist, and she said to me, Phil, what's your PR strategy for working with financial advisors? I said, I really haven't got one. Well, she said, the long and short of it is what you should do is basically anything that happens in your business, tell the press. If you've gone on a course, tell the press. And she said, and apply that to financial advisors. So financial advisors, if you've taken on a new member of staff, tell the press. If you've gone on a customer service course, tell the press. If you painted the outside of your office, tell the press. If you're sponsoring the local kids football team, tell the press. However trivial this might seem, build relationships with the press. She then went on to say that about 95% of what you tell the press won't end up in the press. She said, what is actually, you could still put those press releases on your website and Google will pick those up. She says, but what actually is going on here is you are building relationships with the press and the media so that when something important happens in the big world, for example, maybe in the budget, the Tories might decide to scrap inheritance tax. Let's say that happens. That's a big deal. Who are the journalists going to talk to for expert comment? They're going to talk to financial advisors where they have a relationship. Writing PR, writing press, again, time consuming. Again, you can do it in a flash by using generative AI. Really good. So if you're doing seminars, maybe doing webinars, you can get AI to write all the any of this stuff here. You could create marketing content using AI, and it does it in no time at all. You'll see it says courses there. I'll show you an example of courses that you could actually create using AI in a minute or two as well. So why don't we have a little go at this, and let's just see what we could do in literally no time at all. So what I'm going to try and do is come out of here, and we're going to go over to ChatGPT. Here it is here. Let's just make sure you can see that. David, can you see ChatGPT on my screen here? Just give me a nod. Yeah, you can see that. Great. Okay, so hopefully everybody else can see it as well. So I've just given it in advance some instructions so that this is the key bit. Give it instructions. So let's just start with something really simple and say, write 3 tweets about the launch of my new financial planning business in, say, Reading. Now, it thinks it's me, Phil Calvert, so I'm just going to tell it to act as that financial planner. Let's see what it comes up with. Now, that took like a split second. And, you know, I don't know, the different financial advisors have different compliance rules, but from my knowledge of compliance, you know, there's nothing there that's going to cause any problem at all. Those look to me like they're good to go. You'll see they've even put in hashtags as well. But let's say you have a branding as a financial planning that maybe you want to come over as very friendly and very personable. So let's just say make these more personable. Again, super simple. Really good. So let's do something else so you can see how quickly that is. Write a press release to the local Reading advertiser about a forthcoming seminar we are holding locally to introduce ourselves to, and let's say our business market, let's say we're targeting local businesses, yeah, local businesses. So I just said we can use this to create press releases. Let's do exactly that. So again, how hard was that? Super simple. Now, what you could do if you don't like the look of it, you could then say to that, okay, make this more detailed. Draft out a potential agenda. Let's just get it said. Draft an agenda for this seminar. Light refreshments. So this is interesting. So it's coming up with it. This is coming up with its own ideas. Okay. And I'm said act as a financial advisor. If you give it lots of information at the outset and tell what sort of financial advisor you are, it will do that as well. So let's say suggest a case study for me to present based around retirement planning. Include lifestyle issues. I was having a think now. Let's see, sometimes it jams. Now, I'm conscious that this is going too fast for some of you to read, which is it's extraordinary. But really, the point of this is to just give you an idea of what this is actually capable of. Yeah, really amazing. So, okay, so it's come up with our case study. We can tweak that. You're the expert, not it. That's why I said it's baking the cake here. You then do the work on top of that. Yeah. So let's do something else now. Let's say write a short blog on the pros and cons of, let's say, equity release for local residents in Reading. See what it comes up with there. I'll send you the video of this so that you can, go through it at your own leisure. Now, I would say that's a little bit simplistic, but then again, I did say to it, write a short blog. And that's the point. What we could now do is say, okay, build on or write more about item 2. It remembers what's gone before, and these are all saved. You'll see down the side here, it saves everything you do, so you can go back and it will remember what's been talked about in these particular things here. So I hope you can see straight away the potential for something like this. It is quite amazing. So let's do one more. Write an introductory email to a local firm of accountants suggesting that a mutual relationship would be worthwhile. Now, that's all I'm going to give it. Let's just see what it comes up with just with that. I mean, every time I use this, I'm still kind of gobsmacked. I'm thinking, where's it getting this? How's it doing this? Um, so, super simple. Again, it's bake the cake. You can then put your own spin on top of it. And again, let's make this less formal. So you can see the subtleties of that in terms of language are amazing. And just to wrap that up, rewrite this in Shakespearean language, excuse my spelling. Isn't that amazing? Now, okay, it's a fun example, but the point is quite important, is you can get it to do whatever you want in whatever style you want to suit you and your business. And the beautiful thing about this is within the settings, you can give it custom instructions. And those custom instructions are basically you telling it all about yourself, so that every time you ask it to do something, it will base what it does on what it already knows about you, which is fantastic. So one of the things, just for sake of our example, is that it usually spits all this out in US spellings and grammar. So one of my custom instructions to it is, don't use US spellings, use English spellings. So I hope you found that interesting. I just want to start, so we just sort of wrap up a bit. And again, just if I go to my helper, David, can you see that? Are we back to the presentation? We're back to the presentation. Fantastic. Just where we go. So what you see there is the prompt. This is called prompt engineering. Be really detailed. The more detailed you are, the more it loves it. Be really specific about what you do. So I put there, write a 500-word blog aimed at small businesses turning over up to $1 million. I'd actually put in a lot more information than that. Write the outline for what are some of the great research topics, give me 10 video ideas, and so on and so forth. Now, I talk about marketing, and I also talk about how you can create new products and services that will really start to bring people in. Anyone seen me talk before? I talk about this concept called the value ladder. What do I mean by a value ladder? It's the little touch points that build trust with people so that they really want to work with you. So, for example, a dentist, a typical value ladder for a dentist will be something like this. They actually want you to pay for the cosmetic stuff. That's big, expensive stuff where they make a lot of money. But what a lot of dentists do now is they'll even offer, teeth cleaning, free teeth whitening. My dad was a dentist, and back in his days, teeth whitening was the big expensive stuff at the top of the ladder. These days, a lot of dentists give it away for free. They're just trying to get you in, build a relationship with you so that it is inevitable that they go further. A chiropractor will do something similar, free consultation, maybe a free massage, something like that. We all know what the value ladder is for a gym, the free trial. Value ladders for gyms, they even start, or they have a start date. It's usually January the 1st, isn't it? This is my value ladder. This is what I do to try and bring financial advisors into my world. The most expensive thing is a deep dive weekend retreat at a high-end hotel with celebrity chefs. We take a deep dive into financial advisor marketing, and it costs a lot of money. But no one's going to buy that unless they've been up the value. There's financial advisors, no one knows who I am, so why would they spend money on that? So what I do is I bring people into my world down here. So the stuff in green, Facebook group, an online analysis, a free ebook, these are free. The things in blue are sometimes free webinar like today, or sometimes they're chargeable. Then we get into the stuff that you pay for, maybe a LinkedIn makeover, maybe a workshop, coaching calls, and then the expensive stuff. And that's what I mean by a value ladder. So what's on a financial advisor's value ladder? Well, for most financial advisors, none of that is on their value ladder. But what you could conceivably do is create one or two of these things. I'm not suggesting that you do all of these, but I'm just giving you some suggestions as how you could use AI to create products and services that you give away free or that you charge for, that will help people to build relationships with you so that they want to go further. One of my problems with financial advisor websites is they all look really good these days, but they all say exactly the same thing. It's really difficult to differentiate one financial advisor from another. But if you're a financial advisor and you've got a scorecard or a quiz on your web, imagine if I'm searching Google and I'm looking for a financial advisor, and maybe I own my own business and I'm getting near to retirement and I'm starting to think about getting my retirement ducks in a row, and I'm searching Google and I arrive on a financial advisor's website that says, how ready are you for retirement? As a business owner, have you got your pension ducks in a row? Take our quiz. It'll take you 2 minutes. And you'll get personalized results. There's no way I'm going to ignore that. That gives me something to do on your website. It gives me real value from you. It gives me a sense of who you are, your expertise and credibility before I've even met you. You get all their answers to the questions, but that's another thing. So you could use AI to create any of these things here. Martin Bamford, long before AI, Martin was really good at this. He's written several books. He's used to be a financial planner. He's now decided he's still a director of a financial planning firm, but he wants to focus much more on the marketing side. His value ladder was that he wrote 3 books. Some of you may know Catherine Morgan, who does a lot of online coaching. She does these free online challenges. 5-day free challenge, help you identify what kind of relationship you have with money, unlock limiting beliefs, give you blah, blah, blah. She does loads of this stuff. This is part of her value ladder, and they all lead up to her really expensive stuff. The people who buy her expensive stuff are the people who have gone through her free stuff down the bottom. The daddy of online content is Pete Matthew from Meaningful Money. His firm is Jackson's Financial Planning down in Cornwall, and he's been creating content for people to consume online for years and years and years now. And he did all this before AI, but now, so it takes time before AI. But now that we've got AI, we can create any of this stuff ourselves. And so, for example, last week I was talking to a group of accountants about this. And one way that accountants could create new income streams or have something on their value is to create an accounting course. This is a website called Udemy, which is a site where you can just find loads of online courses. So this accountant has created this online course, Accounting and Financial Statement Analysis, Complete Training. 14,000 ratings from 66,000 students. Now, you're the financial advisors, normally 59 quid. What's 66,000 multiplied by 60 quid? I'll take that as an income, thank you very much. Or it complements what they already do. Here's another one, Accounting from Beginner to Advanced, 1999, 6,500 ratings, all pretty high stars as well. So what could financial advisors do? You could create your own online course as well, the Complete Personal Finance course. Now, one of the debates that we hear ad nauseum on in our industry now is, how do we offer services to people who can't afford our fees? You know, the vast majority of financial planners are aiming at a particular market, and there's another market that we know needs our help, but who can't afford us. Here is another way for them to access your expertise. Create your own course. You can use ChatGPT to create your own course. We could go to ChatGPT right now, just like we've just done, and say, I want to create my own course. Suggest the modules for a simple personal finance course. And it will do that just like that as well. Then there's other tools that you can use that will create the videos and so on and so forth. So I hope that's kind of giving you an idea as well. Another one, financial planning, coaching, 15 quid. 4,800 students. have all paid around 50 quid for this. This is a nice new income stream that AI will help you to do. There's another one, Personal Finance for Beginners 101, 15 quid. But what I'm interested in is the ratings here, is that these aren't just on there, but people are actually buying them and they're actually going through them as well. And here's another one as well, and so on and so forth. Now, all the ones that you're looking at here were not created with AI. They were done before AI was born. Now that we have AI, you can create something like this in a matter of minutes, literally. Bake the cake, then you put the icing and the finesse on top of it. Now, we're starting to wrap up now. Really appreciate you sticking around with me, which is superb. I get the Rundown AI newsletter as well. And in it, in one of the editions, they were talking about an AI tool called Hey Gen. And it is a tool where you can create an avatar of yourself or of anybody else for that matter that sits on your website and will talk to people. Now, I thought, oh, I'll give that a go. It'd be interesting to see how that works. A lot of these AI avatars, you know, they're a bit weird. They're getting better and better. So I put a note in saying to HeyGen, I'd be interested in having a look at this when it's launched officially. And they sent me an email back, and there was a picture of this video in the email, and it's actually a video. And I'm going to click on this video now.
Hey, Philip, thank you for showing interest in our ultra-realistic avatar feature. We appreciate your curiosity. We will be in touch soon.
So let's just do that again. He used my name in the email.
Hey, Philip, thank you for showing interest in our ultra-realistic avatar feature. We appreciate your curiosity.
Now, let's see what he goes on to say.
We will be in touch soon. By the way, this is an automated video message created with my avatar. Hope you enjoy it and talk to you soon. Hey, Philip.
So how cool is that? Can you imagine if you as a financial advisor could use a tool like that, have your own avatar of you, personalizing your communication to someone who has just signed up for your email newsletter, registered for a seminar or a webinar, anything where that first contact point with you as a financial advisor, they register for your email newsletter, you can send them a personalized video email featuring you, but using their name. How cool is that? This only came out, it's not available to everybody yet, but it's now we can really get a sense of how we can start using this stuff within our businesses. Every member of your staff, if you have a team, could have their own version of one of these as well. So you can create automated emails that are highly personalized to people featuring you or members of your team. So in terms of what happens next, we're expecting to see explosive growth. We hear about AI on the news all of the time. There is a lot of weird stuff on the news, but the really important thing is we start thinking about, okay, this is a tool, it's here now, it's free for the most part. How can we start using it in our business to make us significantly more productive? How can we use it to start creating new income streams as well? As I said right at the beginning, we are only limited by our own imaginations. We are nowhere near the point where AI will take over from accountants or financial advisors. It will happen in time, but that's quite a long way off, to be quite honest. Right now, you won't be disrupted by AI, but you could well be disrupted by other financial advisors who are using AI. So I would urge you to really start thinking about this. In my book, there's all sorts of ideas on how you can start bringing AI into your business in a low-risk way, how you can start embracing it, how you can start learning about it, and start just thinking about, okay, how could we use it in our business as well? And start moving forward. Take it gentle, baby steps, and start thinking about it. Whatever way you want to use it, it's a free member of staff, to be quite honest, right now. Think of it as a new office assistant that you can use in a variety of different ways. Some financial advisors are going all in. Most financial advisors just they're giving it a go, just seeing what they can do with it, playing around with it, and slowly but surely they start moving it forward as well. I mentioned our AI best practice group. We've got a separate group on Facebook which just talks about AI, all the different tools that are available, how other financial advisors are using it as well, all sorts of resources, tools, tips, and so on and so forth. When you join, we give you those prompts that I was putting into ChatGPT. We've got a free guide with 120 of them. I think there's actually about 150 in that now, or just prompts that you can play around with ChatGPT that will give you all sorts of results. To snip at £7 a month, and you get the first week free as well. So if that's something you're interested in, you can go to that link there, or if you've got your phone, you can scan that logo and make sure you got that. So I'm going to send you a copy of the slides so that you can go through this at your leisure. I'm going to stop sharing just now there. And Kimberly's had to go, no problems at all. Has anybody got an immediate questions that they want to ask? It doesn't matter if you haven't. Feel free to just drop me a line at any time if there's anything you want to know. But I hope you found that interesting. I hope you found it useful. I hope it's giving you some food for thought. It's fairly jaw-dropping what you can do with this stuff. And there's no question at all that we're going to be able to do more and more and more of this as time goes by. So any questions, just shout. Not for now. That's fantastic. Thank you very much for joining me today. Really appreciate that. I know you're all busy, but it's great to see. So thanks a lot, and see you soon.
Cheers, Phil.
Take care.